Hey, great, great Thursday evening. Let me say, I apologize for being late. It's crazy, but I was already here. For some reason, I just hadn't clicked on. It's crazy, and I started to see individuals commenting, and I'm going like, "Oh crap, I'm not on." And so that's what happened. Can't wait to see who will be co-hosting tonight. Waiting for a friend to click on. Uh, we actually do have a new co-host today. It should be fun. It should be interesting. A friend of mine, and let me say that coming on to these shows is not necessarily the most easy thing to do, but I appreciate folks that want to come on. I did send a couple of individuals a link also as well. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Guys, today was an interesting day for me more than anything because I actually had a lot of work to do. So I couldn't delve into social media as much as I probably should have, could have, or wanted to, but that was just because of the limitations of time. One of the things that I've shared with individuals, doing these shows is not as easy as a lot of people thinks it is, and they do take a little bit of time. And one of the things that I've gotten some backlash on is that, well, that's what you all you do is just post on social media. And no, sometimes I work, and today was a work filled day. So I'm not exactly sure all that transpired today, but it's never a dull day in the city of Brownsville, Jessica.
What did you do today? I want to know.
I worked.
Pero qué?
I went to Matamoros twice. Talked to some
¿Te
people.
casaste?
And
How,
then
how many did you marry?
I did not marry anyone today.
Ufale.
But I think what's happening is that people are getting ready for the 14th.
It doesn't feel like the 14th though. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on.
Was for some of us that don't get flowers, candies, or anything other.
Wah, wah. You know you're gonna get your share. Calm down.
Don't get crap.
Your little admirers are gonna bring you cookies.
Well, cookies, yeah. Sometimes I do get cookies on Valentine's Day, but that's about it.
Ay.
Jessica, I've known Jessica for some years now.
No,
Um,
right?
actually, I'm going to say this. Jessica está pendiente conmigo because Jessica, they practice for their church. I think every Saturday,
Oh,
or
us too. We haven't. That's why we. That's why I haven't called you because we haven't done it in a while.
but So one time I went out there and I saw a video of them practicing at church. I go like, "Hey, I need to go out there and practice with y'all's church too. I can sing some of
I
those
need to go
tunes."
to your church so that I can go sing at your church.
Okay, so you were waiting to be invited to this one and then coming to yours.
That's what that is.
Good excuse. But yeah, let me say that uh, that's one of the first encounters I saw in regards to Jessica on live. But then I came to realize today that Jessica was doing live on her own. So what's the gist of your new shows?
So, si me oyes, sí, ¿verdad?
Huh?
So, you can hear me?
I can hear you. There's a little echo when I speak. It might be because of the speaker. Yeah, echo is bad.
Oh,
Do,
sorry.
do you have a computer or a phone?
I'm on my iPad, but I can change to my phone if that's better.
That might be a little better.
Let me try.
It's feedback from the microphone. Hello?
Is that better?
A million times better.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're in the studio for real, guys. Yeah, the other one was just, we were just practicing. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Just for real.
Let's see. Let's go to the comments real quick before we get very, very behind. It
Let's do
says,
it.
Castro Rubalcaba and Presa Garcia sound like a slate to me. The only slate for the people. this is one of the things that, and yeah, I don't know if you got to see last night's show, Jessica. It was a great, great show,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the things that I think is important is that there's individuals out there that are of like mind in regards to being tired of the typical politician. Because one of the things that I think that we're going to see in this upcoming race, we're going to see the contrast. We're going to see individuals that are going to be sending you text messages, are going to be out there and leaving paper on your door, making calls to you, and it gets to a point where people need to wonder where's all this money coming from. And then there's
Mm-hmm.
other individuals that are running this race that have promised not to spend a fortune on this race. I've already committed to not spend more than $3,000 on this race. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And and I don't want to go out there and ask for money, and I don't want to collect favors. If people want to send money, that's okay. But I don't want to spend more than $3,000 on this race. And the reason for that is that you shouldn't have to. You just have to work the campaign. And I think one of the things that Susan Rubalcaba and Katy Presas bring to the table is that we bring something to the table. And unlike our opponents, we're not bringing a bunch of baggage. We're not bringing special interests. We're not bringing individuals that have constantly been pocketing the money of our community. I think I'm hoping that that marks the difference.
Well, you know what? The thing is that we need to get the people that are commenting here to get out and vote. That's the thing. Like we have so many in our part of the woods, like we call it, like that Lopez area, that Porter area. We need to get out there and vote, and we just tend not to, and we don't get our voice out there. And I think that's what's important. Erasmo's been such a good voice for the community of Brownsville that we kind of all know, oh, he's got it, but it doesn't show in the polls, guys. Like, let's just, call it as it is.
Yeah.
We need to get out there and vote when it comes down to it.
Well, one of the things, Jessica, that I plan to do a little bit differently this time is, I plan to kick it in gear. I want to have neighborhood little meetings and hopefully energize a lot of the people that you mentioned over there by Rivera, Southmost, and everywhere else to go out there and reach out to their neighbors, their friends, their relatives, and say, guys, you've got to come out and vote. And for anyone out there that has kids that have turned 18 or are about to turn 18, let's go get them registered to vote. Got
Yeah.
them registered to vote. Roman is very, very good with numbers, and Roman was sharing numbers with me. Roman Perez, uh, he actually shared with me the other day that last race, 11,000 people came out to vote, and we're talking about 11,000 people out of some 85, 90,000 people that are registered to vote,
Dang.
and that's horrible.
Yeah.
That's what because what winds up happening, Jessica, is that you start to get a small number of individuals here in the city of Brownsville who ultimately decide the future for the rest of us.
Yes. And it's not the most of us, guys. It's not most of us. That's the thing. We're so used to other people making those decisions, and we're not stepping it up. And you know what? Half of the reason or half of the problem is that we think es un borlote to go out there and vote. It really isn't. I went to the public library thinking, oh, I can vote here, but it wasn't early voting. So they're like, no, you have to go to your area, only to find out it's like a block away from my house. Like, it really is not that big of a deal.
No.
You go in, you get out 5 minutes tops, and you get a cute sticker. Why not?
Hey, Jessica, it's been a long time. She's a fellow elementary friend along with her sister.
Yes, yes.
No
I love
slate,
my community.
no palanca. Yeah, and this is one of the things that I was hopefully trying to convey. It's difficult to run a slate because each individual needs to run their campaign on their own. Because one of the things that I hope that a lot of people understand is that if Susan Rubalcaba is the only individual that gets elected out of the like-minded individuals, we need her to work with the other commissioners out there. We have to shy away, and we mentioned this last night. Got to shy away from the count to four, count to four, count to four. we need individuals on there that are going to be free thinkers, individuals that are going to be concerned for what is in the best interest of the city of Brownsville as a whole, and not just not just their special interests, the people that put money in their pocket. They
Yeah.
got the slate inspiration from the BISD CEO. CEO, maybe. They got
Correct.
the what makes me think that Victor Caballero really won because he really must have won, but with the election fraud. One of the things, looking back in hindsight, you could start to pinpoint maybe a lot of the things that could have been, should have been, would have been. At this point in time, it's important to learn from them, but more important to move on forward. And this next race should garner every single ounce of our attention because it is an important race. Uh, Jessica, one of the things that we've been dealing with, and I think the whole city of Brownsville, is with increased utility rates.
Oh my gosh. Are they trying to go back on what they did? Because have you noticed this past couple of months are like, oops, here's $200 off. And I'm like, ah, fregoncitos. Ahora sí ya. Sí, ¿verdad?
Well, you're right. And look, I my bill was going over $500, and all of a sudden it's back down to 285.
Mhm.
It's gone down. My issue is it should have gone down many years ago.
Yes. Yes.
And what about all the money that they collected that they should not have collected?
Mhm.
You know, it gets to a point that what I'm afraid of, Jessica, is that we're getting close to election, and individuals are going out. No, mira, aquí está la lana. Forget about how we hurt you for the past 10 years. How
You're
we
right.
lied to you.
I think that's our culture though. We tend to remember like, ahorita estamos bien, so we're good. PUB, you and I were good. $100 off, we're good. Pero acuérdense, like we need to remember, guys, what has been going on with the money that they already got. Where did it go? Where is it going?
And that's really important. One of the things that we talked about last night, and we've been talking about for a while, is how individuals have opted uh, to now state that we're going to give the community back 40 million dollars. Is it $40 million? No, I'm lying. $29 million. $29 million, and I'm going like, that's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you took 179. What happened to the other 150 million?
Where's the rest of it? Yep.
Yeah, and I'm not going to be satisfied until every single dime, every single penny that they took, they give back. A part of the problem with PUB, and part of the problem with the little group out there that is responsible to overseeing PUB is that all we are getting right now is promises, 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 and
Mhm.
I want some action.
Yeah.
I want to see that money going back to the individuals who paid for it, paid most of it. Uh, one of the I had a conversation with a former city commissioner today, and we were out there talking, and we were mentioning. He goes, Erasmo, he goes, never even can imagine how horrible it is right now, and that in some way, we were out there with this guy Tony Martinez, and it's just a shame because I don't think anyone. Well, I'm praying that no
Like,
one out there.
no-
El- Mande?
like nobody else knew what was going on.
Well, I think what happens, Jessica, is that a lot of people seem to want to trust these individuals.
Yeah.
They place trust in them to do the right thing,
Hmm.
and unfortunately, they don't.
Right.
And that's just a very, very upsetting. Uh, I'm not interested in those born with silver spoons or those willing to sell their souls to the devil in exchange for monetary donations and quid pro quo mentality. Yeah, it's not good
But
for
that's
us.
that's the ones that keep getting represented, Teresa. That's the bad thing about it. They're the only ones getting represented out here.
Unfortunately, yes. And that's what hurts our community.
Hmm.
That's what I mean. The BISD slate CEO candidates, but Victor didn't win. So now we took the slate method for their convenience to the city politics. We'll see. It's going to be interesting. Erasmo is getting thick this coming season. I don't know if that's a compliment or if that's a blow.
Like, I mean, if he's looking sexier to you, Nikki, go ahead. I mean, that's fine. Let him.
You
Let
know,
him.
one of the someone sent me a message today, and this is how old I am. They went, "Oye, la Reu que está en tu portada." And I'm going, la Reu? What are you talking about? And yeah, la Reu. And going like, he sent me a WhatsApp. I don't understand the gibberish.
Right.
La reunión, the reunion. And I'm going
Eh,
like, why
no,
can't you say reunion?
no, la reunión.
La
Reunión.
Reu. So when you say thick, I'm hoping that that's a great thing.
I mean, the peach means your ass. So
Yeah. Remember, Phoebe finds it easy to find credit right now because of the weather. But how about we keep the same energy during the hot days? Um, I'm praying. One of the things I think we all expect is that our utility rates are going to go up as soon as the hot weather starts to hit in, and it's just going to be very, very unfortunate. And that comes after May, after the election. So, one thing follows the other. It's just no no relief for the people of Brownsville. Vote Erasmo for mayor. Justice will be done. Preach. Love you. They need to sell businesses, condos, boats, mansions, and bank accounts to pay back the people. Let me tell you, that's where I fear that a lot of the money that should have gone to the people of Brownsville actually went, and that's what becomes very, very unfortunate. We don't have individuals that are out there, overseeing what the different entities out there that are handling the money that should go to the people of Brownsville. And that's just really, really unfortunate. So, Jessica, you had a live show on tonight.
I did. Okay. So I know. I don't know if you know for official, but I'm not teaching anymore. I the teaching field. And I was literally just praying, like, what am I gonna do? Like, what the heck? I don't know anything other than teaching. And I've been taking a product that's been helping me, whatever. I got fair warning to the city of Brownsville, okay? I got the sleeve done years ago. And if you know this or not, you rebound from the sleeve, just for the record. And the only thing that made me stay, in my weight is the root of tejocote, which I've been taking for 3-4 years now. So I'm selling that. I'm promoting that just because I like to eat, and I haven't been able to. I didn't rebound. I'm doing good. So I was like, I'm gonna help my community, help my friends, help my family. This literally helps you stay in shape. I'm not gonna tell you lose 1,000,000 pounds, but I am gonna tell you this makes you feel less bloated. My husband's even on it, and he's loving it. So why the heck not? You get my free life. Rumors say you're getting. Oh, hey, you let him do what he needs to do. I'm just saying, boo boo. Let
What's BBL?
the breast booty lifts
Best Bootylicious?
your boobs and your butt. It's a lift.
Oh, maybe.
I
No,
know.
actually, the only plastic surgery we're talking about plastic surgery, right?
Sí, es plastic surgery.
The only plastic surgery I want to get is like cut a little bit of la papada off,
No
and
tienes. O is it your beard that you can't see it?
huh?
No tienes.
No, well, you can't see it because of the beard, but you see that right there?
Oh, I get that here too. A
Yeah,
little.
that I want to get rid of, and I want to do a little Botox here, here, and on top of here, a little bit, not that much.
Pero Botox is not really that like.
Oh, did you see the Grammys?
No,
Did
tell
you
me.
see did you see the picture of Madonna?
No,
It's horrible.
for real.
Right after the show, go Google Madonna at the Grammys.
I am
My God, does not look like Madonna at all.
unrecognizable. She already passed. She already went down the slope.
Gotcha, bad.
I
I want to do a little bit of work. I don't want to transform myself to look like somebody totally different.
yeah, same. I want to do the same.
So
Poquito, pero still
I,
look nice.
I still need to call out the. I still need to call the businesses that aren't joining us with the complaints as they also pay. Hey, why aren't they more vocal? I agree. It's got to be cutting into their profits. I agree as well. BBL is Brazilian, but
Ándale. Are you getting a bigger butt? Do you have to show the city here or the?
I will not be getting a bubble butt. And you know what's
Tómenle foto cuando esté en el downtown, por favor, en scooter, y vamos a ver las fotos.
let me say that it's kind of funny because one of the things that I noticed, I did lose a lot of weight. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm only 7 pounds away from getting to where I need to be.
Wow.
Well, 7 to 6 pounds because I go back, I fluctuate. But
Sí.
let me say, I was at 493 pounds, and when I was back at 493 pounds and 300 pounds and 200 some pounds, I would touch my butt and I couldn't find it because it was just all fat. No había nada ahí. This the last time that I went to Cuernavaca, I don't know what, but I put my hand on my back and I'm going like, oh my god, I'm feeling the.
But people are noticing. That's what
I
I'm saying.
do, I do have nalga. I do have nalga. But so when you mentioned that, Nikki and Yasmin, I go like, been there, done that. So it's kind of on the interesting. So Jessica, is there a reason why you're not teaching anymore, or it's
You know
just
what? I got my master's to be in leadership, to be honest with you. And I was looking around, and honestly, I know I shouldn't say it. Screw it. I'm already outside. It's a little toxic. BASD is toxic. I'm not gonna lie. And you've been there, and unfortunately, we put on a really good show. Like we're good at that. BASD is good at putting on a good show. I love it. And there's administrators there, I promise you, that have worked their butt off, literally their life off. But there's reason to want to be better. That there's a reason I wanted to be a better administrator. I wanted to be that voice for teachers to administrators. I wanted to be that. I wanted to go change the world, go do this. And unfortunately, I felt a lot of um like I'm not going to get my shot. So I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time here anymore. I'm not going to be a sitting duck here anymore. And I love teaching. I love the kids. I mean, I miss that so badly, but not enough for myself to feel like that anymore.
yeah? Well,
Yeah.
I think one of the things, and a lot of times, a lot of people, they'll come out and say, "Oh, that's why you hate BISD." I love BISD.
Mhm.
I love BISD. Uh, I hope that in my time at BISD, I was a good ambassador for BISD, because one of the things that I did was I showcased a lot of the things that a lot of folk
Yes.
didn't realize was actually going on at BISD.
Hmm.
One of the things that I learned to appreciate was how a lot of our staff at BISD would actually work long hours a day, weekends, in order to prepare, be ready for the different activities that for our kids out there. And I learned to appreciate that. I think one of the biggest gripes I had against BISD is how they can control
Yes.
every single election here locally, and county wise, and maybe even statewide, and they refuse to. And
Hmm.
that's what's unfortunate, because one of the things, and Jessica, we know each other from, well, your church, my church. One of the things that I've had an issue with pastors here locally, and I've called them out to them, like, guys, these individuals are hurting your flock.
Hmm.
That's what he does. They're hurting your sheep,
Yeah.
and and they're limiting the potential in regards to growth for them as individuals and as families, which ultimately will help your growth as a church. And your ministry will become all the more greater and more powerful,
Hmm.
because there will be more resources
Yep.
in order. Because look, Jessica, we go to church. I go to Matamoros almost every day.
Hmm.
It breaks my heart to see all these people on the other side of the bridge, ahí in La Obregón, that are out there from Venezuela, South America, everywhere, begging for food
Yeah.
and have need. And we as a church could be addressing a lot of these issues, but a lot of times we can't, because we don't have the financial resources to help everyone that we want to help out,
Hmm.
or preach the gospel where we can't go, but other people can go. But because there's no economic development here,
Right.
there's no jobs, good paying jobs for our individuals. We're getting kicked out of our homes and being able to rent any place because rents here are
Skyrocket.
astronomical. They're
Mm-hmm,
horrible now.
mm-hmm.
So one of my gripes against a lot of the pastors out there are like, guys, they're hurting your sheep. They're hurting your members. You need to become a little bit more vocal. And I don't mean preach from the, do politics from the pulpit, but motivate people to, guys, get involved in,
Yes.
in the community. And I think that's something that we failed as pastors.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's a culture thing. I don't know if it's a Hispanic thing. We were for a long time, and you can see this in like the older generations. We were taught not to speak out, not to speak up. And unfortunately, guys, if we don't do it, nobody else will. And honest to God, nobody started speaking out until Erasmo started with back in the day, the cheese. Remember?
Yeah.
When he was out there, taking out the I remember asking Erasmo, literally, Erasmo, I don't even know what the heck you're talking about. I don't know. I'm not educated in politics. I don't even know, like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Until he started speaking out about the money. Where's the monies? Who's actually using the money? Where's it going? Nobody had an idea about why we say Brownsville had money, but we never got to see it. We saw downtown ripped apart. We saw every other area where we lived in, where Brownsville citizens were living in, with horrible streets, horrible schools, until Erasmo started speaking out and saying, guys, there's money. Go over there to the nice streets and go over there to the mansions because there's money out there. And this is why we need people like Erasmo. I'm not saying, oh, he's my friend, so go vote. I'm saying, look at the people that are actually speaking out for us.
Yeah.
If people are speaking out for us, those are the ones that we want to support. And don't just let the days pass by. Don't let early voting pass by. Don't let those voting windows let us go, guys, because the ones that are not speaking out and getting gypped is us
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Well, one of the things that, they came out with the audit. I don't know if you've had a chance to read the audit. It's horrible. It's horrible because it makes mention everything that we've been saying for years,
Hmm.
how they would wheel and deal and
Yeah.
how they took 100. And one of the things, Jessica, that I've tried to educate the people is this is just one project.
Yes.
One project. Pero, fíjate, one of the things, and again, I don't want to sound too full of myself, but I sometimes question how much more would they have stolen if there wasn't someone out there
Speaking.
calling them out on their bullcrap?
Mhm. 100%. A
You know,
hundred.
how much more damage could they have done to the city of Brownsville? Because we're damaged, and I hope people understand this. We are damaged as a city,
Mhm.
and maybe not a certain little clique out there that continues to reap the benefits and the rewards of all this raterio. But we as a community are damaged.
Mhm.
Today, I saw how Harlingen mayor was actually attending the state of the city address by the McAllen mayor.
Really.
Yeah, yeah, and it was like a show of good faith. I think
Fue
as
de
what
respeto.
Mande?
Fue de
Yeah,
respeto.
respeto, but of good faith in the desire that the two cities continue to work together to better those two cities.
Oh my God, we're getting left behind.
And
Seriously.
we're getting left behind. And we didn't see our mayor there. We didn't see anybody else. And this is the backward thinking that has placed us in this type of situation. We talked about this last night. Why is it that McAllen, Edinburgh, Harlingen, they're all moving forward? We're still stagnant.
Oh my God, I can't believe it.
It's crazy. And again, for a lot of people who always say, well, es que Erasmo just wants to be negative. No, I want to be positive. I want to say that there's great stuff happening in the city of Brownsville in comparison to being in other cities. But look, there's some of us that are not going to go anywhere because this is our town, our city, our people. We're going to stay here and we're going to continue to fight for it. But if we weren't vocal about it, how much more money would they have stolen from Tanasca? They
Yeah.
took 179. How much more money would they taken? The bridge to nowhere, 25 million. The Performing Arts Center at BISD, 53 million. It's just one thing after another thing after another thing. And one of the things that we've shared, Jessica, is that they seem to be braver and braver and braver as time goes along. So it's really, really very unfortunate.
How sad work. You know
This,
what? I went to Florida maybe what 2 years ago or a year ago. I saw this beautiful show. I absolutely loved it. Like you go to Disney, they have el dinero ahí está, yeah.
yeah.
I'm looking at this show. It is in the one that's in the safari outside, and the crew, the staff that actually performed was maybe what 10, 20 at the most people with the dancing and the singing and everything, and beautiful, gorgeous. And the only thing I can think of that whole time, the talent that's needed for a show like this is in Brownsville. 100%. I've seen it. I was part of it.
Yes.
I can vouch. I can tell you, kids from middle school, high school, guys, we're making a records in the state to make our voice be heard in the fine arts area. But where are we showcasing it here? Unfortunately, even it sounds bad. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Even when you go to like the Camille Playhouse, even that's already like from a certain part of a group that already has a theatrical team going. Like it's not really the representation of what Brownsville can do. And that kind of performance, man, in a Brownsville performing auditorium with Brownsville kids participating, with the monies to do the backstaging, the lighting, because kids are studying this in high school, guys. The kids are getting educated to do this, to go get jobs out there. You do that in a performing arts in Brownsville. Can you imagine how much revenue that would bring in the city? Oh my God. Like we're missing out on so many opportunities. It's already here. We're already here and we're not using it. It's gone. It's misused, all of it.
And it's unfortunate. We had that one of the, I don't know you well, I don't know if you saw this, but during the pandemic, one of the things that I thought was really horrible was that during the pandemic we had the zoo and Camille Playhouse, both of them, with GoFundMe pages in order to
Survive.
feed the animals and for Camille Playhouse to continue to
Wow.
exist. GoFundMe pages.
Wow.
And that should be a slap in the face to every citizen here in Brownsville. Slap in the face.
Yeah.
It's just wrong because we are such a wealthy community
We
because
really
we have the resources that any other community would actually die for.
are. Hmm.
And they continue to be used. I go to the comments. The idea of BAZ is great, but the ones who run it destroy it. It's soul sucking. Yeah, and that's unfortunate.
That's
I
it.
think
Right, Jasmine. That's right. Unfortunately, it's true.
it is true. And one of the things that we've been sharing for the past couple of years is how the morale in a lot of folks out there, people have just given up.
Right. Yep. 100%.
And they don't want to complete their retirement. They'd rather take a hit, take a loss, than lose their mind.
Yeah.
It's very bad. At this point, the one person actually trying to do something for Brownsville is Mr. Erasmo. Nobody else here in charge cares for their people but him. That's why community loves you, and I love you, Nikki. Thank you.
Mhm.
Nobody even knows who the mayor commissioners, but many know what district they live in and who's responsible. Nobody knows how the process works, what city department does what, and who is responsible. That was actually, this is one of my biggest concerns with a lot of individuals that are right now seeking office that have no understanding in regards to what GBEC, BCIC, and all these other boards and committees that we have throughout the city, what they do and how they function. And I mention that because I'm going to continue to say this. They are the number one problem for the citizens of Brownsville.
Mm.
The corruption and impunity spoken on Roswell is not going to be learned in the classroom, Herald, RGB, KRGB textbooks, or city officials. We are taboo. Yeah.
How sad is that? We
Yeah.
used to have a freaking channel. I don't know if you remember that. Well, back in the day, there was like Channel One or something, where the kids were getting like news from all over how things worked, stuff in Brownsville. Now we don't have none of it. Our kids are not getting service, guys. I don't
No.
know.
Everyone is used to Erasmo doing everything. People should only be telling Erasmo what is going on after they go through the channels of reporting, and after everything is formally reported and don't get help, then tell Erasmo. Uh, yeah, but let me say, sometimes, look, I don't mind. I don't mind.
It's easier to tell a friend, and it
Yeah,
has feels like a friend. Honest
yeah,
to God, that's what it is. It's exactly. And I wish everybody was that approachable. To be honest, if more
yes,
city officials were approachable, they would. But
I agree, 100%. I bet you another $2 bill that if that audit wasn't released to the public, the current commission would have swept it under the rug. Yes, and we would have never ever learned about it. But Susan, and this is where Susan is so very very important for the city of Brownsville, and Kayla, and Teresa, and everyone else that is actually going out there and speaking up, because it holds their feet to the fire, and that's what we need to do. Because one of the things that Vito, and I love Vito, and forgot to call Vito today. I love Vito; he's a friend of mine. But one of the things that really pissed me off about a conversation that we had with Vito, Susan, you remember, was he said, "Well, there's only three of you here." And I'm going like, oh, wait a minute. Do you really, really think that there's only three people in the city of Brownsville who are upset that y'all took 179 million? That we got screwed with the utility rates up by 36%? No. I mean, one of the things, and going back into the pastor thing, Jessica, one of the things that really bothers me is that we have, y'all have in your church, and I have never been to your church, but I know for a fact you have a lot of people in your church that may not be have proper legal documentation to be here.
right.
We have many members in our church that are resident aliens who
Hmm.
don't have the right. They're in the process, migration process. They don't have a right to vote. Who speaks for them? And that's my concern. Because look, one of the things that I think that the politicos here, they say, well, Erasmo, well, you're going to you get less votes. So you don't have a lot of people supporting you. I'm going to beg to differ. And again, not that I'm full of myself. I think there's a lot of people that support, that hurt, that come, like Jasmine was saying, come to us for help,
Hmm.
but can't vote. It doesn't mean that I'm going to turn a blind eye to them. I'm going to continue to fight for them
Hmm.
and anyone and everyone else. Because if they are here, like the Hondurans and Venezuelans or in Matamoros, but if they are here, I feel that it is my responsibility to do everything that I can to help them out. And that should be the sentiment of everyone out here.
Right. At the end of the day, guys, we're all a community.
Yeah. Maybe this was there for the McAllen Mayors. We all happy to be taking photos. For what? That's only for mayors who have something to show off. Noticeable growth, not just a bejeweled downtown. Even the locals aren't part of that art. I will say this. I did pass by the third mural out there. It's looking pretty. We'll see. It's looking pretty. There has been such an abandonment of infrastructure maintenance for far too many years. Playing catch up is going to be a monumental challenge, not impossible.
100%. Yeah.
Well, this is the way that I look at it. And I know that a lot of people seem to think that, well, it's just going to be so hard to fix everything that they've hurt, decimated, and destroyed. Yeah. But can you imagine how far $179 million would have gone?
Single. That's true.
And again, if we stop them now, we are actually probably saving the city of Brownsville another hundreds, 200, $1 billion, maybe. We don't know. One of the things that I'm glad Juan Montoya brought this out on one of his articles. Guys, don't forget, these people, they wanted to give away Texas Southmost College. They wanted to give away $250 million of property, of buildings. 250, give it away. And, it would hurt me back then and still now. This is yours and mine.
Hmm.
They wanted to give it away, Jessica, and they wanted to leave us with a 20-year, 20 some $1 million debt.
It. Yeah.
Todavía arriba, because we were still going to have to pay for the bonds. And these are the individuals that form the boards, the committees, and who are serving right now on the city commission. And that's just unfortunate.
Yes, it is.
That is not the priority of incumbents and musical chairs, career politicos. Their motivation is self enrichment and being part of the elite and crowd. Shameful and disheartening. It is disheartening. It's true. You go to New York, and one of the things that many people do is try going to see their first play and watch notorious plays like Cats and Phantom of the Opera. We can have that too, but they don't invest.
Yes, that's exactly right. They don't invest where it needs to be invested.
And then you've got Camille Playhouse having to do GoFundMe pages.
Yes. Ridiculous.
They got all the money to help people, but they don't want. They are just keeping it at this point. Yeah. Uh, Through your show, I learned names and positions, and I even learned my district and precinct and county commissioners and judges and sheriff. Thank you. It also makes this community feel comfortable. He doesn't judge us. Oh, no, I'm one of you. Cut the superintendent's salary in half and distribute it to the teachers. That would be a good start.
That'll make them stay. That'll make them stay at Orlando for sure. 100%.
Yeah, but they expect us to do the reporting. Just putting it on Facebook, complaint awareness is not enough. For more complaints, the first important step, 100%. Yes, years of catch up. Someone has to start. I can tell you that if you're the commissioner, the only that only does one thing the whole 4 years. That's going to be okay. We will see your intent, and we will want to give you another 4 years. In my honest opinion, I praise you. So, what are your plans for retirement or for next steps?
Well, so I'm gonna sign up to be your assistant. A ver que see if I can get an interview. A ver
You're
que...
hired. You're on.
No, hombre. Literally, I'm here, and I keep telling. I decided to make my page public and just motivate my people, motivate my community. That's what it's about at the end of the day. I've been hurt, and I've been trying to go through the system for so long. I'm so over it, legit so over it. And I think we need more people to be more positive around here in Brownsville, to be honest with you. I'm
Yeah.
tired of people looking down at other people, people not feeling comfortable where they're at, and I'm here to like make a voice out there for people like us that literally came from nowhere and trying to break through all the noise and legit be positive in the city of Brownsville. I'm so tired of us being the poor ones. I'm so tired of us being the last in the line. Brownsville should not be the poor city in the RGV. Guys, we have more money in this city than we do in Harlingen. Okay, Harlingen's ghetto, guys. Let's just say what it is. It is what it is. Everything here has so much more potential. It's our mindset, it's the way that we're thinking of things, the way that we view things. And you guys think Erasmo is angry? He's not angry. I can understand now. I talk loud because I'm so passionate to want to break through and get you guys to get it so badly. And
Yeah.
I get that. I totally get that. I know he was loud before. He's calmed down now. We're
A little
good.
bit.
He's traveling more. He's relaxed now. We're good. But I really feel like we need to step it up, guys. Let you wanna support. Let's be a voice out there. Let's
100%.
support people that really represent us, like Erasmo. And yes, it's so easy just report everything to him, and he literally needs the help. He said, "I need reporters out there. Go make it funny. Go. I mean, not funny of accidents. Don't do that. We're gonna get mad at. You're gonna get backlash." But I thought it was hilarious that people wanted to report. Who was it? Somebody in a school, in a high school, de que le quitaron los AirPods, and I'm like, bro,
Oh,
we're fine.
Lopez.
Lopez, I'm like, bro, that's following the rules. That's the good thing. Like, we're good there. We're good. And that's the thing. We need to shed life in there. Shed some positive vibes in there. Yes, it's not all great right now, but Erasmo's one of the ones literally picando piedra for everybody. So let's just push people that are doing it. Let's just go for it. Why not?
The poorest city is nothing but an excuse and crutch used for failure by current
Yes,
leadership.
yes, Susan, 100%. I hate
Uh,
that.
Jessica, do you remember the 956-542 help number? I think it was a homework hotline we had in our time. The number was in those highlighted people.
Yes, because we were so dumb. We had helplines. Dude, I remember going to church on Wednesdays and people were offering tutoring services during service for the kids because we needed the help. This is what we need to bring back, man. Like for real.
Five four
For
six help.
real.
Help me, help you. Help
For
me,
real.
help you.
Help me.
Jessica, it's good to have you on, and I'm glad that you're going to be coming on every night.
100%. I'm here for you, bro. I'm here for you.
Love you. Thank you. And
Love you.
I still want to go sing at your church. Guys, have a great evening. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock in the morning. Guys, become a part, become involved, be vocal. Let individuals know on your news feed that you're not happy with the way the direction the city is going, the way our district is going. It's not being negative when you shed light to a situation that a lot of individuals feel no power to express. And
Yes.
then there's other individuals who just cannot express. So I'm very, very proud of more and more individuals out there becoming more vocal and using their platforms in order to bring awareness. So, guys, have a great evening. See you tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. Be good to each other. Continue to be. Hasta mañana.
Bye.
Bye, Jess.